Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to another session here at bipset.com. I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, and today we actually want to talk about a topic that I heard a lot of over the last couple of weeks. A lot of people actually came to me and just said, you know what, Ben? I think we have the right mindset and we have the kind of attitude and we really know where we want to go to and we're very, very motivated. And I said, wow, that's great. That's the essential thing that we're always talking about, right? So if you have that, you should do it, right? You should just go crazy with it. But then at the end of the day, what I just realized when we get a little bit more deeper in the discussion, they actually just told me that, you know what, Ben, but the thing is that we really motivated and stuff, but we're really struggling a little bit for reaching out to the prospects or to the people that we would like to talk to for the first time. We don't really know how to do it, right? So we're feeling a little bit uncomfortable doing it. So how can we actually improve for, getting to that person that we would like to talk to, and how should we start talking to them? You know, that's a really, really good question at the end of the day, because I just realized over the last couple of months even, or years, that a lot of people don't really like to have this kind of cold approach, right? A lot of people don't really like doing it. And I'm always saying, you know what, don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's not that difficult as you might think right now it is. It's not really like that. It's just the way of how you actually think about yourself and the situation that you might facing. Because a lot of people, they're really getting nervous if they already think about, oh my God, I have to call someone that I've never talked to before, or I have to actually meet someone on site, I have to look into the eyes and I've never met him before. How am I doing it and stuff like that? You know, and what I'm always saying is, it's quite easy, right? At the beginning, what you really should focusing on is for not really thinking about the business too much. It sounds quite weird that I'm saying that right now, but you really shouldn't really think about the business that much or closing the deal that much, because what happens is it really gets you under pressure. It really gets you under pressure and people can tell, right? Because as soon as you start thinking about too much what you're actually trying to achieve here right now, it really is going to change in your personality, right? And you don't want that. You don't want that, especially in today's market. It's really important, and I can't say that too often, it's really important that you are sharing your personality. People are not just interested in what they can get from you. It's also about the person that they're talking to. You know, we talked about empathy already, and that's really critical. So you really don't have to get yourself too much under pressure for then actually, let's say, hiding your personality. Because at the beginning, it's not just about to closing a deal or how can you find out how quickly you could actually close something here. It's really about, you know, creating relationships. That's really important to keep in mind. So just make yourself free of, let's say, closing a deal in the first or second meeting. I mean, of course, sometimes it happens and you don't say no, of course, right? Of course, you want to close a deal, it's also your goal, you know, you want to be successful. But at the beginning, it's even more about creating the right relationships with people, and that starts with that. It starts with talking to each other and having a good conversation about stuff, and really having a good conversation about anything else maybe. Maybe you don't really talk about business at the very beginning, and if that's the case, that's fine. That's definitely fine, because what you do right now is you are actually earning the trust. You are actually creating relationships here right now, right? And let's say creating relationships, it never really normally starts with just talking about the business all day long, right? It's more about between people. It's really about sharing experiences, sharing different stories, sharing different kind of ideas that you might have, which is maybe not related to what you would like to talk about. But that's fine, right? So don't really get distracted by thinking, oh my God, I'm not really working on my deal here, I'm not working on something. You do that. Maybe it's more indirect right now, but you do that because you're creating relationships, right? So that's the first thing that I'm always saying. But then people, of course, say, okay, man, that's interesting. I mean, we get that, right? We understand that. But how do we do it? How do we actually do it? And you know what? That's also something which is kind of combined with what I told you already. But of course, let's say you are having a first call with someone. Let's say you're calling someone up, right? And you never talked to that person before, but you really want to talk to them, you really want to get in touch with them. So what you should do, obviously, is of course, you just calling the number, you just call this person up, and what you can just do, or what you should do actually, is creating a situation. It's really about creating an atmosphere which is not really business related, and it doesn't have to be business related all the time. I mean, what you should do obviously at the very beginning is you just say who you are, what company you're calling from, and of course what you do, right? But then also really try to create a situation. And with situation, I mean creating a comfortable situation for both of you guys, right? And that actually starts with two things. The first thing that you should do, especially on the phone, trust me, it really, really works, it's smiling. Before you dial the number, before you actually start talking to someone, you should start with a smile. Because it really changes the voice, the tonation of your voice, the tone, everything. It really changes the way how people are listening to you, how people are hearing you. So that's really, really important. Start with a smile because it makes you sound even more positive and really people having a good kind of an understanding of your kind of mood right now, right? And they really want to have a positive mood. They really want to hear something positive. And the second thing is you should really start with this empathy, the thing that we're always discussing. And that's really, really critical on the phone, even more especially on the phone because you can't see someone, right? So it means you really have to listen carefully. And that's actually how you start. It's not about to think, okay, how do I start my sentence? The first thing is you should listen how someone is picking up the phone, how he's saying it, you know, how he's saying it, how he's picking up the phone, what is his tone, what is he saying, even the word, right? That's something that you learn over time, but it's really critical because then what you do is, because you're having that empathy, you're going to decide in a millisecond, okay, what am I saying right now? How do I do it, right? And then you should actually start by saying, you know, oh, my name is Benjamin, for example. My name is Benjamin from the company Bipset. And I actually just wanted to get in touch with you because I just realized that you are responsible for this and this department, working on this and that. And then just stop. And then just stop. And stop doing it, stop saying anything, and just listen what he's answering. Because what you did already is you actually gave him an understanding that you did his research, that you did your research, and you just have an understanding that he's responsible for that. Because as soon as you say responsible, it makes people even responsible for something, right? It makes it even more like that. They know that they are responsible for their department, right? But as soon as you say that, and you know, as soon as you say you are responsible for this and that, and that's why I'm calling you right now, it's like a confirmation for them that you know that they are responsible. And maybe they say, oh yeah, I'm responsible for that, right? So maybe that they confirm that and they actually say yes to it. You can actually also start the conversation by, oh, that's interesting, right? And always, but why not smiling, right? You can actually smile because, trust me, it's interesting because we realized that over the last couple of years from our experience that smiling over the phone in the right situations, the right timing, is really changing a lot of stuff. Because a lot of people, if you smile, a lot of people smile back. You can actually try that out, even in real life. If you smile to someone, normally people smile back to you, right? If they're normal, I'd say. They normally smile back to you, right? So as soon as you can start smiling and say, oh, it's interesting, because I actually just found that out and just wanted to have a direct discussion with you because I'm actually responsible for this, this, and that, and we are actually working with our prospect on this and that for increasing this and that. So give him a little bit of input to really make him understand, right, where you're coming from. And you then just say, you know what, I just want to have an understanding how you guys are actually working on that, and especially you yourself in your position responsible for this. And then just stop. You know, you should stop again, and you just start listening to them, right? And what you just do right here is now you're just creating a situation, right? You're just really trying to make him understand where you're coming from, what you're doing, and that you did your research, and then also listening to them. Because what's also important to create the right situation is, or to create the right atmosphere is, to really listening to them and really caring what they say. Because people will realize as soon as you listen to them and you really care what they say and reflect that information to them, as soon as you reflect that, they're going to realize, oh my God, he's really listening to me. He's caring of what I'm saying right now, right? And it gives them more trust. It gives them a better feeling of trusting in you, right? So that's really, really important. So, and that's something that you should do, right? It's very, very straightforward. And if someone is realizing, if you're actually realizing on the phone in an on-site meeting that someone is reacting in a more negative way, you know, it's something like, oh no, I don't want to talk about it, stuff like that. You can actually talk about that. You talk about that mood. Talk about, okay, or sorry, I just have a feeling that it's maybe not the right timing, or it's maybe not in the right situation for you right now. If that's the case, no problem. I can actually call you back tomorrow or the next day at around 2 p.m. Does that work for you? Right? So you can use that situation as well for actually make him understand. You realize that it's not the right situation. Maybe he's not in a good mood for talking about it right now. And just giving him option to have another day, having another time, and just give him 2 options already to choose from. Right? And what they normally do is, as soon as they actually hear that stuff and they're actually really not in a good mood or in a negative mood, they're going to say, okay, just call me in 2 days at 2 p.m. They might say that. And if that's going to happen, that's totally fine. You know, that's totally fine. Maybe we'll do the same. That's totally fine. You can, or totally understand and appreciate. I will definitely call you the day after tomorrow at 2 p.m. Have a good day. But what you did right now is you had a first contact with someone. Right? You had a first contact with someone, even maybe without realizing it. And what you just did, you just reacted to the situation. Right? So we are not a believer in, let's say, being prepared with a script or something like that. That doesn't work. In my experience, in all of our experiences, it doesn't work. Never using a script, because it changes you. You're not yourself anymore. But that's really what you want to have, right? We learned that already. That's really something you need. Work with your personality, but then combining it with the empathy that you learn or that you have to learn, right? So these are the first 2 steps. You remember we discussed that. Personality and empathy is a very key combination here, especially at the beginning, for creating that kind of great atmosphere, comfortable atmosphere for both of you guys, right? So really, really important. And then, of course, what I just said, using this empathy at the very beginning and starting this conversation, right? So this is the kind of idea where we're coming from. I hope that helps you, but that's really something that you have to understand. It's a lot about improvisation, right? So you need to understand that you are reacting to things that people also do. So you can't really expect that you can use something that you prepared for already. That's maybe not going to happen. What you can prepare for is, let's say, using your experience that you have over the last couple of weeks, months, talking to other people, and what you actually do is you create different habits over time. It's quite interesting. You create habits over time, and these habits is actually something which makes you understand. If someone is saying something, let's say in a situation that you know already from your experience, you can actually use a specific habit that you learn over time, a specific sentence, a specific wording, or a specific kind of reaction that you do for making him feel more comfortable. But this is actually something which happens over time. At the beginning, trust me, we've all been there, right? So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's maybe easy at the very beginning, but it's something that you need to overcome, right? It's really something that you need to overcome, because at the end of the day, trust me, if you're not doing it, no one is doing it for you. And you really have to understand that this is actually one of the key things for actually creating opportunities and, you know, creating business for you, right? It's really about this. And you need to talk to people. You need to be communicating. You need to have that. You really need to be open, talking to people, getting an understanding who they are, where they're coming from, and really listening and caring. And trust me, this is really important, because people, they're going to appreciate that. And it's not just about closing the deal. It's about long-term relationships, partnerships. And as soon as you have that relationship with people, as soon as you feel, you know, we're coming closer here right now, of course, you can actually also then go more into detail and talk about your business as well, right? So it's really depending on the situation. It's really depending on the situation and who you're talking to, because we're all individuals, right? Never forget that we're all individuals. So what I'm saying right now, maybe it's not working for someone else. Maybe it does. You never know. But that's up to you to decide in the millisecond about, you know, what kind of reaction do I actually have right now for actually making him feel more comfortable and also start listening to me. You know, I hope that helps you. I wish you all the best with that. I mean, as I said, please get in touch on bipset.com. You can always call us. You can write us an email. We can definitely also have a strategy call, right, for going a little bit more into detail about your situation. You know, why are you doing that? What you're trying to achieve, and how you're doing it right now. And then really getting in touch and hopefully getting an understanding how we could work together on being successful, or helping you being successful. So thank you very much, and have a good day.